Steve, founding executive director of national nonprofit Moms Across America, Zen Honeycutt, is in D.C. for meetings with senators and congressmen to lobby for regulations on toxins that have made their way into our food supply. She's here now with us, live in our newsroom, to tell us more about the journey. Good morning.
Good morning, Marissa. Thank you for having me.
And those meetings happened this week.
Yes, they
How
did.
How did they go?
10 senators and congressmen, staffers, and the FDA. We were actually able to meet with Jim Jones, who's the new head of human foods, just yesterday, and we're very inspired by the reception. We're very glad to see that they are actually interested in what's going on in the food supply, but we're very concerned about the levels of heavy metals that we're finding in the food supply, and the fact that the FDA does not have regulations for any foods for heavy metals besides applesauce, some for baby food. It's actually not mandated yet, and also candy. But all the other foods, they're not regulating for heavy metals. So that's why we're here, and we're urging our congressmen and senators to make sure that they put some policy in place.
When you put it that way, it's very alarming. I know we've covered some of the metals in the foods you just described, but like you said, that's such a small portion of all that's out there. Are there certain foods when it comes to children specifically that your group is paying special attention to?
Yes, along with GMO science and the new MDs, we recently tested for heavy metals in baby formula, and that news is pending. We will be putting it out, but it's very alarming. We also found a lot of heavy metals in school lunches and fast foods, some levels between 1,000 to 6,923 times higher than what the EPA allows in drinking water. And again, I have to compare it to drinking water because there is no regulation for heavy metals in foods. So we're finding very high levels of cadmium in, for instance, In-N-Out French fries, and in burgers, lead in burgers. So those are the two that we found the highest levels of in French fries and burgers, unfortunately. It's also been found high in cinnamon, in applesauce, and baby food.
Along with those findings, have you all been able to discover, any impacts or effects of consumption?
Oh, absolutely. It's widely known that heavy metals can cause neurological damage and cancer, specifically lead and cadmium, the ones that we're most concerned about right now.
Why do you believe that nothing has been done to the degree that it should have been at this point? Why do we even have to have these meetings like the one you just talked about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was shocked to find that there's no heavy metal regulation. And I just think that right now there's a stronghold on our regulatory agencies because much of the funding that they receive is from the corporations that make the chemicals and the fertilizers and the pesticides that go on our food supply. So we really want to call upon our congressmen and senators, and we ask all the consumers to contact your congressmen and senators and let them know that they will vote only for elected officials that put the health of the people before prioritizing the profits of the corporations. That's what really needs to happen right now. We need safety to come first.
In terms of voting, that's what we can do as citizens, but as consumers of this food, what should we be looking for when we shop at the grocery store?
Well, to avoid pesticides like glyphosate and other pesticides like 2,4-D, definitely choose organic. That is the safest option across the board. Regenerative organic is even more optimal. If you want to avoid heavy metals, as I mentioned before, I'm so sorry, French fries, sweet potatoes, root vegetables, and red meats have been found to be high in cadmium and lead. So we need to clean up the food supply because we need to be able to eat those foods and not be concerned about that.
And you mentioned organic food. Those are some of the most expensive options as well at some stores, and some cannot afford it, to be quite frank.
Yeah, and we need access to safe, non-toxic, nutrient-dense food for everyone of every socioeconomic background. That's important.
Where can people go to learn more about the work that you do and to join you in this effort?
They can go to momsacrossamerica.org, join us on our Monday Night Moms Connect call, sign up for our newsletter. We'd love to see you there.
All right, Zen Honeycutt, thank you so much for joining us and laying out the mission of everything that has been happening, and also sharing those details on that very important meeting that you all had. We have to stay in touch to see what comes of it.
We will follow up with you.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.